Healthy Lifestyle Crib presents 15 mind-blowing psychological facts. The realm of psychology delves into the intricacies of the mind and behavior. Decades of dedicated studies have been devoted to comprehending the essence of our being, a quest that will persist into the future. Although our understanding expands daily, vast realms remain unexplored. Certain research findings prove more captivating than others. Have you ever considered that the punctuation in your text messages might inadvertently convey insincerity? Brace yourself. You're about to embark on an exhilarating psychological journey. The forthcoming psychological facts may just elucidate or corroborate aspects you observe in yourself and others. Number 1. Having a backup plan can diminish the success of our main plan. Researchers from the University of Pennsylvania delved into the performance of volunteers in a specific task. They discovered that participants who contemplated a fallback option performed worse than those who didn't. Additionally, when participants became aware of alternative routes, their motivation dwindled. This phenomenon aligns with expectancy theory, conceptualized by Victor H. Vroom in 1964. Essentially, this theory posits that your drive towards a goal hinges on your belief in achieving it. Implicit in having a backup plan is the assumption that initial success may not be forthcoming. Scientists caution about the importance of foresight but counsel against becoming excessively entangled in the specifics. Doing so may inadvertently undermine your chances of success. Number 2. Sharing a yawn can foster social connection. Imagine the start of a productive workday, full of ambition. As you sit in your cubicle for the morning meeting, your neighbor emits a loud, contagious yawn. Suddenly, you find yourself yawning too, despite not feeling tired. This is known as a response yawn. There are several theories that attempt to explain why yawns are infectious, with one of the leading ones suggesting that response yawns showcase empathy. This clarifies why young children, who have not yet fully developed a sense of empathy, and individuals on the autism spectrum are less prone to responding in kind. Number 3. We tend to feel more connected to individuals than to mass tragedies. In a separate study conducted at the University of Pennsylvania, researchers investigated how people's giving behavior was influenced by specific stimuli related to charitable causes. One group was presented with an image of a starving young girl. The second group was presented with a statistic about millions suffering from hunger, and the third group learned about both. The group exposed solely to the statistic made the least donations, followed by those who were informed about both. Conversely, those who saw the image of the young girl donated twice as much as the statistic group. Psychologists attribute this phenomenon to the feeling that when a problem seems too immense, we experience a sense of helplessness and insignificance, doubting that our efforts will make a meaningful impact. In contrast, aiding one starving child appears more manageable than eradicating worldwide hunger. Number 4. Beginnings and endings leave a stronger imprint than middles. Have you ever found yourself at the grocery store without your shopping list? When you try to recall the items without it, you can vividly remember things near the start and the end, while the middle remains a bit hazy. A study in the journal Frontiers of Human Neuroscience confirmed this phenomenon, known as the serial position effect. This might also explain why you recall the conclusion of your manager's presentation more clearly than the middle section. So, rest assured, it's a genuine cognitive pattern, and lapses in memory may not necessarily indicate ADHD. Number 5. 5 positives outweigh 1 negative in shaping our outlook. You may have come across the advice to begin and end your day by reflecting on a few things you're grateful for. This practice helps maintain a balanced perspective, countering our natural tendency towards a negativity bias, which inclines us to focus on negative aspects rather than the positive ones. Dwelling on detrimental thoughts that bring you down is unproductive. Strive for a ratio of 5 positive experiences or thoughts for every 1 negative aspect in your life. You might just pave the way for something truly wonderful. Number 6. Food tastes exceptional when prepared by someone else. Have you ever wondered why food seems to have an extra touch of deliciousness when it's made by mom? In fact, this phenomenon applies to meals prepared by anyone else, provided they're a proficient cook. Researchers attribute this to the fact that when you're the one preparing a meal for yourself, by the time it's ready to be savored, the anticipation has waned, resulting in a diminished level of enjoyment. Number 7. We prefer knowing the bad news over uncertainty. Have you ever experienced that sinking feeling in your stomach when someone says, "We need to talk"? Immediately, your mind races through a myriad of potential negative scenarios. If it's a romantic partner, you'd probably prefer they address the issue directly. If it's your boss, you'd rather they be candid about the situation. Researchers have discovered that we lean towards knowing when something negative is looming rather than being left in suspense. This is because when our brains are uncertain about what to expect, they go into overdrive attempting to predict all possible outcomes, both positive and negative. Number 8. When rules feel too strict, we're inclined to rebel. In the psychological phenomenon known as reactance, individuals have a tendency to break more rules when they sense that certain freedoms are being restricted, in an attempt to regain the perceived lost freedom. This tendency is especially evident in teenagers. When grounded, they might not only attempt to sneak out, but they may also engage in other risky behaviors as a form of reactance. Number 9. The urge to squeeze cute things has a reason. Think about puppies and babies. Doesn't it make you want to shower them with love, give them a little squeeze, and cuddle with them? Well, it turns out, this is a natural response known as cute aggression. According to an article in the journal Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience, the idea behind cute aggression is that when we're overwhelmed with positive emotions, like those sparked by an adorable pup or baby, a touch of aggression helps balance out those intense feelings, preventing us from inadvertently harming these innocent little beings. Number 10. We tend to embrace what aligns with our beliefs. Confirmation bias is the inclination to interpret facts in a way that supports our existing beliefs. This phenomenon clarifies why individuals with specific political perspectives gravitate towards particular news sources. Convincing Uncle Fred to alter his stance on international relations might be a futile endeavor. Confirmation bias not only leads us to seek out information that aligns with our pre-existing beliefs, but it also prompts us to dismiss contradictory information. Number 11. Your deepest musical affection is programmed in high school. Great music has the power to trigger the release of dopamine and other mood-enhancing chemicals. Remember exclaiming, "This is my jam," at some point during a teenage party? The days of high school, or more accurately, the ages between 12 and 22, when everything seems to carry amplified significance, especially music. Research indicates that we form a stronger connection to the music that resonated with us during our teenage years, surpassing our attachments as adults, regardless of the passage of time. Number 12. Memories resemble patchwork images rather than precise snapshots. False memories are recollections that we hold in our minds but are not entirely or partially accurate. An instance could involve believing you started the dishwasher before leaving for work, when in reality, you didn't. This occurs because our brains sometimes fill in gaps inaccurately, remembering only the essence of what transpired. Number 13. Our instinct to spot faces extends to inanimate objects. Pareidolia is the inclination to discern specific, often meaningful images, such as faces, in random or indistinct visual patterns. A familiar example is the man in the moon. Some scientists attribute this to our inherent social nature, asserting that recognizing faces holds such significance that we'd rather perceive one where none actually exists, than overlook a genuine one that does. Number 14. Expectations shape people's performance levels. The Pygmalion effect is a psychological phenomenon where having high expectations leads to an improvement in performance. In a well-known 1960s study, researchers informed teachers that certain students were identified as having high potential based on their IQ test scores. They discovered that those labeled as high-potential students did indeed go on to achieve at a higher level, partly due to the elevated expectations set by their teachers. Number 15. Our brain doesn't prioritize long-term deadlines. Sure, you could start tackling that substantial work project for either your job or school right now, but there's still a long stretch of months ahead, right? Before you realize it, those months have slipped away, and you find yourself rushing to complete a workload that should have been spread out. Urgent yet less crucial tasks often seem more appealing. They offer immediate satisfaction because they're quicker and simpler to check off your to-do list. Our brains process short-term deadlines, measured in days, more effectively than long-term ones, like those spanning months or even years. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, so we can continue creating content. For more videos like this, click the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Also, be sure to explore our other videos. Thanks for tuning in.